Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'm going to do my part 2 of all about my wedding. So in my first one, if you haven't watched that already, I can link it above if you would like me to. But that one I talked about my venue, invitations, save the dates, vendors, and I think that's about it. And in this one I'm going to talk about my bridesmaids dresses, the groomsmen's tuxes, my dress, the reception decor, and kind of just talk about things that like I regret and how and what I was really happy about and things that I did that I wish I didn't. So things like that, just like that at the end. So as always, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's get to it. So let's start with my bridesmaids dresses. So going into my wedding, I knew that I wanted something a little different and I wanted them to be in different colors. So that's kind of like what I had in my mind. It was kind of like what I was Pinteresting, all stuff like that. So I went with my mom to bridal shops in Chicago that do bridesmaids dresses, and we went to two. So we went to Brideside and we went to one other, and I forget which one that was. The first stop we went to was Brideside, which was in the West Loop of Chicago, and instantly, like, it was awesome. So the girl there, Chelsea, like totally got my vision, and we just started pulling dresses, and she kind of just like lined them all up. And while I was there, it was just me and my mom at first. So while I was there, I kind of like was able to pull the dresses and the colors that I wanted. And we first had them all different dresses, and then the second time we did 2 girls in the Merlot, 2 in Dusty Rose, 2 in the Floral, and then my maid of honor, because I had 7 girls. And so I knew I wanted my maid of honor to be in something different, so that's why we went with like the gold champagne, and then we went with the 2, 2, and 2. So that's kind of what I had in my mind. And so then a couple months later, all the girls who kind of lived in my area and who could make it came, and we kind of had like a little weekend out of it. And so we went to Brideside, and they kind of just chose what they wanted and the colors and like the fit that fit them the best. And so what I decided was I wanted all the dresses to be the same designer, just so they were kind of cohesive, but they could pick like their neckline and decide on a color. So while we were there, we just kind of like tried on dresses, see what everyone liked, and everyone kind of came to a decision. And then we had 2 girls who lived out of state, and so we kind of just decided on what color that they would be. And I mean, they told me like their preferences and stuff, so I kind of kept that in mind, but then I just told them. And then Brideside was really cool because they kind of cater to out-of-state girls, and so they were able to send the girls like 2 or 3 options, and so they were able to try them on at their home and then send back the ones that they didn't want, and then they would just decide from there. So that was really cool of Brideside to do. I'm not sponsored by Brideside, I really liked just the whole system of how it worked. It really came together. The other place that we went to like pulled dresses that like weren't even in my color scheme. It was like the weirdest thing. It was like, what? She would pull like green dresses, and I was like, does this come in Merlot? And she'd be like, no. I was like, okay, well, why are you showing me this? So all of that worked out, and like I said, I did 2, 2, and 2, and I kept it like a pattern. So it like was just so beautiful, and it was exactly what I wanted. So oh, the dresses that they were Jenny U. They were on the pricier side, and so I just love the girls for paying all that to be in my wedding and everything like that. Like, keep that in mind. Like, your bridesmaids have to pay a lot to be in a wedding, so just, I don't know, just keep that in mind moving forward. I was just really grateful that all of them were able to afford it, and because it just turned out beautiful. The tuxes, so I knew that I wanted the boys to be in navy. I just think navy and Merlot kind of go good together. So I knew I wanted to be a dark navy. I wasn't too sure on what color tie I wanted them to wear. I knew I wanted them to have brown shoes, so they did the navy tuxes, they did the brown shoes, and then me and Zach went to Joseph A. Bank, and we just talked to the guy, and he kind of did it all kind of for us and kind of just like showed us some options, and we were like, yeah, that's great. So we did the guys in the Merlot ties, so all the guys and the ushers wore navy with Merlot ties, and then Zach wore a white tie, and then Zach's dad wore a pink tie, but like the same tux. So it was really great. So it was kind of all the colors of the girls, and it just really turned out really well. I just really like how everyone looked together. These pictures here are like my favorite, like us walking and stuff. I think everyone looks really great. So my dress, okay, so my dress, I went to Ultimate Bride, it's in Chicago, and that's where I found my dress. It was a Monique Lhuillier strapless dress from their Bliss collection. I fell in love with the dress like immediately. I had one of those moments where I was like, okay, yeah, I know this is my dress. I'm very self-conscious about my midsection, so I knew I wanted something that went out. I knew I didn't want, like, I tried on a bunch that was like, whoa, like crazy out, but this one just went out and it was the perfect amount. I knew I kind of wanted princess, but like A-line. So I went with strapless only because I have a larger chest, and it was basically the most flattering for my chest. I'll get into the fit of the dress later, but at the time that was like the best option, and it was the best that was looking good on me. So that's what I decided to do. I really love it. The underlay was like a latte color, and I loved the dress. So my veil was a floor length veil, and we incorporated pieces of the lace from the dress, but also from my mom's wedding dress, which just meant so much to me. She was able to like cut up the dress and just apply it on the veil. So that really meant a lot to me. That was really all about my dress, bridesmaid dresses, and the tuxes. That was about it. So let's move on to reception decor that I made. So first of all, let me grab it. So this is what I made for my table seating arrangement. I bought this wire rack thing from Etsy, and I paid way too much for it, you guys. Like, this was way too expensive for what it was, like way too expensive. So I saw these at like I saw these at, yeah, I think I saw these at Marshalls and Home Goods, and after the fact. So just keep that in mind. Don't go on Etsy and pay for this. But anyways, I just took pink paper, I printed out all the tables and these little clips, and I just clipped it on there, and I just propped it up, and so everyone could see where their table was. On the tables itself, I had place cards, which I made as well. I don't have one, but I can show you a picture of my place cards. I decided to do corks with a card and then write everyone's name. So I actually printed out everyone's name on the computer, and then I went over it with gold plated marker, and then we had to cut all the corks, which, let me tell you, was a lot of work. Like, we had to like shave off the end of the cork and then put a slit in, and then like wiggle the table card in it. It was a lot of work for what it was, and I honestly don't really know if it paid off. So just keep that in mind. It was a lot of work. I would looking back, I would probably buy them pre-cut and everything. I wouldn't do that again, because it was a lot of work. Like, me and Zach were like shaving down, and like hurt your hand to like cut the cork and everything. So yeah, so those were my place cards though, and people really liked them. Like, people took them after the fact and like took them home with them and stuff like that. So I don't know, it was that, I think people really liked it. So, all right, second, I didn't do a guest book. I did this board right here. It looks like this. I got the idea off Pinterest. I printed this part up here, if you can see it. It was Amy and Zach. So I did that, and we stained the board.
What?
Things are falling.
Jesus.
So my mom got that board from one of our neighbors. I don't know if he went out and bought it or what, but we got it from a neighbor. And so then we just stained it, and then I took markers and I drew that thing on top. And I actually just used these paint Sharpies, and I actually used the same gold marker that I used to write the place cards out. So I just did that. I did it in pencil first. Oh no, I did it in chalk first, actually. And then I just like wiped away the chalk once I did it in paint, so I knew, you know, the outlines of what I was doing. And then I bought a bunch of these Sharpies. These ones I just bought from Amazon, the extra fine point paint. What?
Did you let her in?
Oh, no, she's still out there. And then just set these out, and then everybody was able to write. One of the things, it did kind of smear a little bit, but people were like, okay. She's right here. Oh. There was some mistakes, but overall it worked out really good. I'm filming, do you know that?
Well, what do you want me to do? Well, not live my life?
And then also then on the tables, me and my mom went to TJ Maxx and bought these gold chargers. TJ Maxx was literally the cheapest place to buy gold chargers from. We bought these, and I think we got packs of 12 for like $7.99. So that was like an awesome deal. So we have like so many gold chargers now, but it really worked out because I kind of had a vision for what I want the table to be. The venue itself supplied us with white tablecloths, white chairs, and white napkins. So I wanted to utilize what they gave me so I didn't have to buy anything else. So I kind of added color with the gold chargers and the place cards and stuff like that. So the table numbers I printed out on like a hard stock, and then I went to this trade show that were reselling things from your wedding. So I went there and I bought the middle wood table holder. So I got that from like a resale wedding expo thing. So those were pretty cheap too. So as far as signs go, I have some of these. I think my friend bought these for my bridal shower, but I used them for the wedding. And I took chalk markers and I drew these myself. So I just did for my hashtag, share the love. I basically looked at a picture on Pinterest and just replicated it on here. And then for this one, I just did please sign our guest board so people could sign that board. And as far as decor goes, I kind of just went to Hobby Lobby, TJ Maxx, and wherever I saw something that kind of went with my decor, I just bought it and then just set it out. And I tried to like buy things that I could put in the house later. One of the things that I really love that my mom bought from Hobby Lobby were these letters. So it was A, and Z. It was just so cute, and they sat at like the head table because Amy and Zach. So our letters were like A to Z, A and Z. So I just really love these, and they were battery operated, so you can just set them anywhere and just turn them on. So they're like that. It's just really cute. Oh, one of the things that my mom made me, this is like literally one of my favorite things that we made. This chest came from Hobby Lobby, and it was just plain brown, like wood, like in their wood making things, like when you can make wood. And so my mom actually stained this, bought these letters and stuck it on there. Isn't that so cute? And this is where all the cards went. And so now I keep this in my living room on my sofa table, and all the wedding cards are in here. So I just thought it was so nice, and I'm gonna have this now for the rest of my life, and we can keep wedding cards in here or maybe something else as time goes on. So I just really like that. And then one other thing that I did inside my tent that I feel like really impact was I had candles everywhere. So I bought a bunch of candles from Target, Bath and Body Works, and just like random fall scented candles, and I lit them all, and I wanted like the tent to smell like fall. I don't know why, but I did. I mean, the morning while we were getting ready, I lit a candle as well. So I just wanted people to like remember the smell, or just like, I don't know, just like have a good experience in there, like when you walk in, because you kind of remember smells. And like, oh my gosh, I wasn't sure if it was gonna like smell, like make the whole tent smell, but it did. So like as soon as you walked in, it smelled like fall, and it was just awesome. And I really liked that I did that little detail, and it just made like a huge difference. My programs and the itinerary I just did again on Illustrator, and I printed them off on like cardstock, the same cardstock that I used for my table numbers. Because I figured like the program for the wedding, like people just throw that away, like no one holds on to it. So I was like, I'm not gonna spend money to get that printed. So I just did it on my own printer and just printed off on cardstock. So I did that, and then let's see, anything else that I made? I think that's it. I had a big chalkboard outside of the it's actually Zach's aunt's chalkboard. She has it. It's back with her now, but I drew on there too, and I can put a picture of it, and I just had it outside of the church and then outside of the reception. So I did that, and that's about it. As far as gifts, I guess I can just quickly go into the gifts. I got the girls boxes of makeup. So I kind of, as soon as I got engaged, I started collecting makeup, and I kind of watched for sales and things like that. And so I kind of put a box together of all my favorite makeup products, not foundation and not concealer, only because I didn't want them to like break out the morning of. And so I had all the girls do their own makeup, and I helped them, like I put on all their lashes and stuff like that, just just because sometimes salons don't do the best job, and I didn't want them to have to pay to get their makeup done. They were already paying to get their hair done, so I didn't want them to pay to get their makeup done either. So I just helped out the girls and we just did it, and it honestly was one of my favorite parts of the whole day, was just being with my girls and like doing their makeup and just drinking like mimosas and stuff like that. It was just really fun. So I got them a whole box of makeup, and I gave that to them on the rehearsal dinner. For my mom and mother-in-law, I got them Kendra Scott jewelry. Kendra Scott is like a really pretty brand, and it's not too expensive, but it is kind of pricier. So I got my mom earrings and my mother-in-law a bracelet, and then Zach's dad, we just got him some socks because he literally is the hardest person to buy for, so we just decided to get him socks, and he likes different kinds of socks, so it was perfect. So things I regret is, one of the things is my dress didn't fit exactly how I wanted it to. So up to my last fitting, my dress fit very snug. It was like perfect. She tailored it like how it was supposed to be. They did say they were gonna add like a clear strap in the back so it would stop digging in. They ended up not doing that, so that was kind of irritating. But so like a week before the wedding, I must have lost about like 4 pounds. So the day of the wedding, my dress like wouldn't stay up. In the morning it did, but come towards the end, I had to constantly pull it up. So one thing that I regret, I wish I put a strap on the dress, so just so I wouldn't have to keep lifting it up. Another thing is that I didn't drink water at all. Like, I didn't pee once in my dress. I didn't have to go to the bathroom, and it's ironic because before I was so worried about the bathroom situation because we were in like an outside pavilion, and so I was so worried about the bathroom situation, didn't go in there once because I didn't drink any water. Like, I was so busy, and it just didn't even occur to me. I think I drank 1 cocktail glass of water, and that was it. And so I was so dehydrated that the next morning I got a migraine, and it was like miserable. Like, I couldn't help clean up. I literally was miserable the next morning, and I just like laid there while everyone was like, hi, we're leaving, and like I was just like in bed. But that's okay. But I would suggest to you guys that drink water all day long, and it's something that you just forget about. And I literally told myself like, okay, I need to drink water all day long, and I just didn't. And so that's just something to keep in mind. We did we put little disposable cameras on each of the tables because I thought it would be kind of cool and like old school to have people take pictures on those, but that turned out to be a terrible idea because none of the pictures really turned out great. They were like dark, and then they ended up being like the same people. So I would recommend not doing that. That didn't really turn out well, and to get them developed is actually really expensive now, so that's something I probably wouldn't have done now. Let me see. I didn't do favors, and I don't really care that I didn't do favors. We had a late night snack, which was pizza and cheese curds, and I think everyone was just happy with that. We had an open bar, and we had a ton of dessert, and so I think everyone was happy with that. I don't think people really give out favors anymore. I just thought I would save the money and just not do them. So I don't think anyone really cared. I think the last wedding I went to, there were no favors either. I feel like that's kind of like going out, so I just didn't do favors. I didn't do a photo booth. I do wish that at the reception, someone would have told me that my hair like was looking a mess, because all my pictures at the reception, like I just don't like what my hair looked like or anything. I wish I had a brush because my hair extensions like were sticking together, so I like wish I had a brush to like brush them out. And then like the back of my head looks like wonky. I just wish someone would have told me. Like, no one told me. Also, I wish that the bride, I'm just kind of upset with my bridal shop. Like, I wish she didn't color code the bustle like she said she was going to. And so my maid of honor and my mom and mother-in-law couldn't really figure out how to bustle it, so half my dress wasn't bustled right. So that was awesome. Again, it was kind of just like superficial things, but I just wish, like, it was kind of the bridal shop's fault. They should have color coded it. So just make sure that they're color coding it, or your maid of honor comes with you to your shop to make sure that they can bustle it. So that was about it, you guys. I think that's all I really regretted. At the end of the day though, it was like a beautiful day and everything really, like the weather was absolutely perfect. It was like not too hot and not too cold. Girls in their dresses were fine and the guys in the tux were fine. They weren't too hot, we weren't too cold. And so everything turned out great. All the vendors arrived on time. The flowers looked beautiful and I think everyone had a really good time. Everyone danced. One of my main things was I wanted to make sure that everyone was on the dance floor the whole time, and it was like everyone was on the dance floor the whole time. Someone said to Zach like our wedding was like a dancing wedding, and that like makes me so happy because that's all I wanted. I just wanted everyone to have a good time. My favorite part of the wedding was the ceremony itself, because to be honest with you, the ceremony is more about you, and it was more about me and Zach, and everyone's there watching you, and then the reception is kind of for everybody else. So the reception was a little crazy, and it's true when they say that it just goes by so fast, is because it does. Like, I don't know who I talked to, what I said, even if I was dancing, like I don't even like remember. It was just like whew, it just went by so fast. But the ceremony itself, it did go by fast, but it was like a little bit more slowed down, and it was about me and Zach, and so I just really liked that. So I would just treasure the ceremony itself more than the reception. The reception's more like entertaining and making sure that everyone is having a good time. I think that's about it. If you have any questions for me, just leave them down below and I can comment them and I can answer any of your questions. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.